What is it going on? It's me, a Mario, apparently. I don't know. What's going on, obscure mic people? It's Bark coming at you with another microphone review video. Today I've got a very obscure one, a rare one, kind of hard to find. It's the Peavey PVM 520TN. 520TN from Peavey. Comes in this nice flight case, old school style flight case. Peavey PVM, it's me, a Mario. That's kind of the way. Has anybody seen the Elon Musk Wario skit on SNL? Good times, old Elon. Elon of Dogecoin fame, whatever the hell all he does. People will die on Mars, by the way. Anyways, this is a kick drum microphone that a lot of folks have said sounds really good on voice, some comparing it to an SM7B and an RE20. It is a large diameter dynamic capsule in here, so it makes sense that they would compare it to those microphones. No bells and switches on this thing. I'm just going to, since it's not a brand new, beautiful microphone, it was used, it cost me about $170. I'll just show you the mic right here on the camera. Real close. It's got the XLR connection is in the yoke mount, so you can put it on a mic clip. I'll repeat that for the folks at home. So it's got a yoke mount, but it has the XLR connection built into the yoke mount. And as you can see here, the wire is running. Hopefully you can see that there. But the wire is running from the microphone into the yoke mount. So, you know, it's kind of cool. There's a lot of possibilities on how you can angle and work this microphone into whatever you're recording, whatever sound source it is. But this is unprocessed. I'm going to throw processing on the mic as well. But I finally got it. I'm pretty excited. I will say, to my boy Novarot's delight, condenser microphones are taking a bit of a hold on me these days. My co-host on Stuck in My Generation sounds magical on the Rode Broadcaster. I've been using for podcasting the Avlex AVS 77. I plan on grabbing another broadcaster and trying that out again on my voice as well. Even though I have one right over here, I could just try it out. I'm going to try both of us on the broadcaster, but my studio, it is very, very well treated at this point, and I think the condensers are going to work just fine in it. That doesn't mean I don't love my dynamics, because you still got that sweet off-axis rejection, and sometimes the voice I just go back and forth. Sometimes the voice just sounds great on a good dynamic. Other times I love the sound of a condenser. So as we go, we grow, and I'm starting to grow Novarot. He's like Nosferatu. Wait, that's a vampire. He's like Nostradamus. I don't know. I can't get anything right these days. I'm doing nothing right in life, except for the few of you that enjoy these videos. I guess I'm doing that right. But he is the Nostradamus of my life, apparently, because he called it months ago. He's like, the condenser bug will get you. And I guess it kind of has. As you grow from podcasting to, you start accepting that condensers work good on podcasts too. But again, not in untreated rooms. It just doesn't really work that well there. So in my studio, it seems to be working really well. I'm loving the AVS 77 and the Rode Broadcaster this time. But hey, who knows? Maybe the Peavey 520TN can change my fortunes and bring me back into the dynamic twilight zone. Let's go ahead and throw some tests at it. Everyone loves a good plosive test. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pineapple pizza. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pineapple pizza. Speaking of something I can use in the P word, anybody had that Papa John's papadilla? The papadilla? That buffalo chicken papadilla is the shit, son. It is the shit. It is so good. My God. Papadilla. Maybe that's one of the new plosive tests. Peter Piper picked a pickled peck of papadilla from Papa John's. Anyways, let's go ahead and do some proximity on this microphone. When you get right up on it, this is what the 520TN from Peavey sounds like when you're right on top of the microphone. Not boomy, not crazy, sounded okay. Let's go ahead and do some off-axis noise rejection. Going to go ahead and turn the mic 90 degrees, cuts right off. 180 degrees, 90 degrees, and then I'm going to slowly spin it back around to the front of the microphone. You'll probably hear a little bit of handling noise from the mic stand. Let's go ahead and do some clicky-clacky on the keyboard. Q, W, QWERTY, whatever the fucky, QWERTY. There you go. That's what it sounds like if you're fucking streaming and gaming, bro. Woo. Exciting in the studio tonight. Exciting. And it's all because of you guys. Make life exciting. Let's go ahead and throw some processing on this sumbitch and see what happens then. Because I think right now I've got to say, there's a little bit lacking in just the outward clarity, but it is nice and smooth with a fairly okay low end, and the mids don't sound nasally or anything like that, at least to my ears. It sounds very, very natural, but I could use a little more low end, and I could actually use a little more clarity too. So I'm hoping compression will give me some of that clarity, and the big bottom on the Rodecaster Pro, the Aphex built-in big bottom, will give it a little bit of oomph that I want to hear out of this microphone. But like I said, this is a nice, smooth sounding, neutral microphone. It sounds pretty solid as is, but I want a little bit more. So let's see if we can eke more out of it with the processing in 3, 2, 1. And now we've got processing on the Peavey PVM 520TN. Got compression, de-esser. So I've got the big bottom on there. There's also a high pass filter. Let's turn that off, see if we can get just a little more oomph on the bottom. All right, high pass filter is off, so a little extra oomph on the bottom, even though the high pass filter is more for that, stuff you can't actually hear. But I still feel like I get just a little more oomph out of it when I turn the high pass filter off. Maybe that's just my mind playing tricks on me, but this is the sound of the microphone with processing on, and it's still smooth. Still fairly neutral, but I do have that extra oomph. And the compression does bring a little bit of that top end to life. I must say, this microphone is not cheap when you do find it, but it does sound good. It does sound good. Actually, really good. It's not blowing me away by any means, but it is one of the better dynamics that I have tested in quite a while. As far as auctions go, I've never seen it go for a price less than $130. I believe it's typically $150 or higher. Again, I paid $169 plus tax. It was like $183 by the time it got here. It hurt my heart a little bit to pay that much for it because I am a tightwad. And let's be kind of real. Dynamics, again, I just have a hard time paying high price for dynamics. I did a 16 dynamic microphone blind test. I've yet to reveal that I do this, but I have a little podcast called Hear the Gear as well, where you can basically get a sneak peek at some of the stuff I do on video. I just do really quick sound and tests, kind of like the plosive and the off-axis rejection in podcast form, kind of as a catalog for myself. Just to go back and reference and listen to mics that I've owned. So I try to put every mic I've owned onto that podcast in like a quick 3 to 5 minute episode form. One of the microphones that I did on that 16 dynamic blind test was literally something I expected nothing from. And it seems to be in the top 3 of everyone so far that's listened and gave me feedback. It's in the top 3 of those 16 dynamic microphones. And I paid nothing for this mic. I'd never heard of this mic. I am surprised that people like this mic. Then I went back and listened to it, and I was like, it is a quality mic. And it is the most obscure, what you would think is a crappy dynamic of all time, with a name brand that's a big name brand, but not for microphones. We'll get there. We'll reveal some of that. But go listen to Hear the Gear, 16 dynamic mics blind tested. And by all means, come back to this exact video and let me know what mics you liked in that shootout. But again, sometimes the best dynamic is $19 on Sweetwater, and that's a Behringer XM8500. So it's hard to pay high dollar for some dynamics. And I'm going to be honest, again, I like the Shure SM7B. I would never pay $400 for that thing and keep it. I just can't. I got the Avlex AVS77 for like $67. I got that broadcaster over there for 110. It's hard for me to pay high prices for a dynamic. There's just not enough in there to be worth it, honestly. And the sound has never quite been a blow you away sound. Not in my opinion. RE20, SM7B, they sound good. They don't blow you away. They sound good. They sound radio quality, studio quality, but you have a really good condenser microphone, and it's just not really going to compare as far as just a quality, robust, full sound, at least in my opinion. So it's very hard to pay for something like this, especially when you find out what microphone sounds good in that 16 dynamic test I did. Absolutely shocking. Anyways, the Peavey PVM 520TN is out. Processing is still on. I'll finish the video without it. Now the processing is off, but the mic is out. Bark is out. The flight case is out from 1970. Ugh. Peace out, folks. I'll see you next time on Obscure Mike.